let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. Jimmy USO and Roman Reigns had an incredible moment at Bad Blood 2024, reaffirming the OTC's statement that it was indeed family business. They also had an incredible character change right before the show ended. The main event saw Jimmy USO returning to help Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes beat Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, with Reigns pinning Sikoa in a moment of revenge. After the match, Reigns and Jimmy embraced and walked away together, only for the Bloodline to start beating down the undisputed WWE champion. Jimmy USO, seemingly conflicted, was awaiting orders from the OTC on whether or not to save Cody Rhodes. Ultimately, both of them, in a big change in character, went into the ring and took out the Bloodline to save the American Nightmare. Do CM Punk and Drew McIntyre hate each other off camera? Pro wrestling legend thinks so. The chaos following the main event continued, and The Rock returned, making his first appearance since the Raw after WrestleMania 40. On that occasion, he told Rhodes that while his story with Roman Reigns might be done, their story was just beginning. It seems like Rhodes and The Rock are going to cross paths one way or the other, heading into WrestleMania season in 2025. Bad Blood 2024 will forever be etched in WWE history as the night that saw an incredible, unexpected character shift for two of the most pivotal figures in the Bloodline saga, Jimmy USO and Roman Reigns. What began as a night of high-stakes competition between familiar foes quickly turned into a jaw-dropping moment of transformation, setting the stage for what could be one of the most dramatic turns in WWE's ongoing Bloodline storyline. For the past few years, the Bloodline storyline has dominated WWE programming, centering around Roman Reigns' reign of dominance as the tribal chief and his manipulation of his cousins, the USOs, to retain control over the WWE Universe. Jay and Jimmy USO, as his right-hand men, had been instrumental in enforcing his rule, but internal cracks began to show when Jay rebelled against Roman's authoritarian leadership last year. This betrayal led to Jay walking out on both Roman and his brother Jimmy, vowing to stand on his own. As the tension between Jay and Roman intensified, Jimmy found himself stuck in the middle, unsure whether to align with his brother or remain loyal to the tribal chief. After months of estrangement from both Roman and Jay, Jimmy shocked the WWE Universe by making his surprise return at Bad Blood 2024, a moment that would have even more significant implications than anyone could have imagined. The night started as a battle for control, with Roman Reigns defending his position against one of WWE's rising stars in a brutal match. All eyes were on Roman, but the match took a surprising turn when Jimmy USO made his unannounced entrance, charging down the ramp with a mix of aggression and purpose. Fans were unsure of Jimmy's intentions. Was he returning to aid Roman, reigniting his alliance with the tribal chief? Or was this the moment he would finally stand against his cousin and continue the rebellion his brother Jay started? Jimmy's actions, however, seemed to suggest a third, more unexpected option. Instead of aligning with either Roman or the opposition, Jimmy interfered in the match in a way that left fans speechless. He delivered a superkick, not to Roman's opponent, but to Roman himself, sending the tribal chief crashing to the mat. The entire arena erupted in disbelief as Jimmy, for the first time, decisively turned against the man who had been both his leader and tormentor. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated. Jimmy, who had previously been torn between family loyalty and personal independence, finally made a bold and definitive statement. It was clear that Jimmy's return wasn't about choosing between Roman and Jay. It was about carving his own path. His superkick to Roman was more than an act of rebellion. It was a declaration of independence from the toxic cycle that had defined his character for the past several years. Just when it seemed like Roman Reigns' hold on the WWE was slipping, his reaction to Jimmy's attack proved that the tribal chief wasn't going down without a fight. In a stunning display of resilience and cunning, Roman's character took an unexpected shift as well. After recovering from the blow, Roman didn't react with his typical rage or fury. Instead, something in him snapped, but not in the way fans might have expected. For months, Roman Reigns had been portrayed as a near untouchable, ruthless leader, fully confident in his position atop WWE's hierarchy. But at Bad Blood 2024, we saw a different side of the tribal chief, one that hinted at desperation and a growing realization that his empire might be crumbling. Rather than lashing out at Jimmy in a fit of rage, Roman's response was eerily calm, almost as if he had anticipated this betrayal all along. It was a moment that added a new dimension to Roman's character, signaling that he might be more vulnerable and calculating than anyone realized. Roman's calm, unsettling response was a stark contrast to the unyielding dominance he had displayed throughout his reign as tribal chief. He slowly rose to his feet, staring down Jimmy with a cold, calculating gaze. There was no immediate retaliation, no storming around the ring in fury. Instead, Roman simply looked at Jimmy with a mix of disappointment and, perhaps for the first time, fear. It was as if Roman knew that his time at the top was coming to an end, and Jimmy's betrayal had just sped up the process. This marked an incredible character shift for Roman Reigns, as he transitioned from the all-powerful tribal chief to a man who might finally be losing control. His decision not to attack Jimmy right away hinted at deeper layers of strategy, but it also revealed a Roman Reigns who could no longer rely solely on intimidation and brute force to maintain his power. The cracks in Roman's empire were becoming more visible, and his icy demeanor suggested that the tribal chief would need to reinvent himself if he wanted to survive the oncoming storm. The ending of Bad Blood 2024 left fans buzzing with questions. What's next for Jimmy USO, who has now fully stepped out of Roman's shadow? By attacking Roman, Jimmy has not only aligned himself against the tribal chief, but has also declared that he no longer needs to be defined by his brother Jay's decisions or by Roman's influence. This character change suggests that Jimmy is ready to forge his own identity, no longer tied to the Bloodline's toxic family dynamic. Will this lead to a full-blown rivalry between Jimmy and Roman? And how will Jay react now that his brother has made such a definitive move? The implications for the Bloodline storyline are massive, as Jimmy's newfound independence could either unite the brothers against Roman or drive an even deeper wedge between them. As for Roman Reigns, his calm yet unnerving response to Jimmy's betrayal suggests that he has something up his sleeve. This version of Roman is far more dangerous because he's no longer driven purely by confidence now. He's fighting to survive. The once unbeatable tribal chief is starting to realize that his grip on power is slipping, and his character shift at Bad Blood hints at a more ruthless and unpredictable Roman in the coming weeks. With both Jimmy and Roman undergoing such drastic changes, the Bloodline storyline has entered a new phase, one that could see the empire of the tribal chief collapse from within. Will Roman be able to adapt to the challenges ahead, or will Jimmy's rebellion spark the downfall of the most powerful faction in WWE history?